So what are the 4 stages that are involved when you're looking to improve mental health and wellbeing across a community? So far too often when I work with communities on this, I see groups that have jumped straight into wellbeing planning without considering all that needs to go on in order to create long-term change. And the problem with that is that so often groups are left with just a worthless document, a document that never gets utilised, that really doesn't have any impact. And it's not just the documents. I also hear communities frustrated that they've tried things, they've tried a little strategy here and there, but just nothing seems to have traction. Nothing seems to make the difference that they were hoping for. Now, I want to tell you right now that in order to improve culture, in order to improve mental health and wellbeing across a community and really look at it as a cultural shift, I suppose, there is much more that's needed than just a plan. And that's because in order to do it, in order to be successful, you have to get buy-in from your community. You have to bring the community along on your journey so that they feel part of what you're doing and so that they're the first people to be celebrating and wanting to know what's happening. You need to be ensuring that what you're going to do is going to be sustainable, because if you're anything like me and a lot of people, you don't want to be reinventing the wheel every couple of years and just regurgitating the same stuff over and over. You want to create a process that is effective and that can be utilised in the long term for making change happen, no matter what the issues are that come along. And the other thing that's really important is that the work that's done before a plan increases your potential for funding significantly. And quite often groups write a plan and then suddenly want the funding, but then they have to backstep to try and look at how to build something that will allow them to happen. When you use a framework-based approach and use these 4 stages, then you really can make a difference in that spot. So I just want to show you the document, show you the framework, and just talk about those 4 stages. So there are 4 key areas that we're looking to implement, and you may have done none of these. You may be partly away on the journey. Now, I'm going to talk in more depth in my next 4 videos about each of these individual stages. So I'm not going to go into too much depth. I just want to give you an introduction. But basically, there's 4 areas. Foundations, and that's really where you're setting up your team. Now, it seems like a simple stage, on an insignificant stage, but it's often where people are figuring out, when they're a passionate person, how to connect with people, how to make it something that's going to be ongoing, and those sorts of things. Secondly, we have our initial steps, and that's really an opportunity to get some early wins and get some buy-in from the local community. We also have our action planning. So the next 3rd phase is our action planning. That's really a very busy phase where a lot of work happens. And often communities jump in at this stage and forget about the first 2. And that's where things fall on, don't work. But really the action planning is where we're bringing together all the work that we've done to create a really viable action plan that the community has buy-in into. And then last but not least is our momentum phase. And that's really making sure that all our local stakeholders are involved, that you're getting the opportunity to get funds, that you're really looking at momentum so that this becomes a systemic change in your local area that can be ongoing. All right, I'm going to stop there for now. I'm going to come back with my next few videos and really talk in depth about each of those 4 stages so that you can understand what they involve, and also you can see whereabouts you might be at possibly in your community. So until then, I'll see you later.